Hello! So today I am gonna tell you guys about this self-indulgent Marvel AU I've kind of been working on for a couple weeks. It's honestly, it's actually kind of been a month at this point of me working on it, and I've kind of wanted to make a video talking about it. But since I am actually hosting an art contest for it, I actually have like a reason to actually make a video about it without it being even more self-indulgent. So yeah. So we're just gonna get into it. So I'm gonna tell you guys what is this AU that I am speaking of. Well, it is called the Multiverse Family AU, and the main characters consist of Sylvie, Loki, Wanda, Pietro, and Peter, who are all kids, and their dad is Mr. Stephen Strange himself. So I'm gonna go into a little bit of a background of just how did I even get this idea? Where did this come from? Well, this AU started as a self-indulgent thing, like I said, and it is kind of branched actually a while ago to when they announced how Wanda was gonna be in the second Doctor Strange movie, and I was like, that's kind of cool. And I was like, like, man, imagine Strange being like a mentor father figure to her and like teaching her like how to use her magic and stuff, and like yeah, like he's gonna adopt her or whatever, haha, funny. And then some people were talking about, it's like, Loki's also a funky magic user. Imagine Loki and Wanda just being funky magic siblings. So I was like, oh my god, Strange has 2 kids now. Oh my god. And then, like, a while ago, there was like rumors, and I don't know if they're still true. I don't really know what's up with that. But I heard about how Strange might be in the 3rd Spider-Man movie and like kind of being like a mentor to him. So like, oh great, now he has another kid. Oh my this man is tired. He's gotta deal with all of these children. So a while passes and the Loki show happens, and I started thinking about this idea again of Strange just taking in all of these characters and basically becoming their dad. And I was like, man, I should bring that back and actually like, what if I did something with it? So then I was like, man, what if they were like actually kids and Strange was like literally their dad? So then this kind of branched into me actually starting to design like characters and stuff for this. And so, the Loki show is happening, and I'm just like, man, Sylvie and Loki dynamic, they're totally siblings. So then I add Sylvie into the AU. So another kid. And then I was like, well, you know what? This is an AU, I can do whatever I want. It's self-indulgent already. I'm adding Pietro into this. He's gonna be there. So now Strange has 5 children, and man, and then it just it branched off from there, and now we're here. So when I was making this AU, and like when I made it, it was really more for myself. It was a very self-indulgent thing because the Loki show caused me physical pain, and I needed something to make me happy. I needed to make Marvel content that didn't cause me physical pain. Like what Marvel's been doing recently. So when I posted the AU, I just thought, like, why not? It's whatever. I need to post art anyway. People like were actually getting interested in it, and the more I kept drawing for it, especially like on Tumblr, a lot of people were sending in asks and stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, people actually want details with this AU that I never planned on making details for the AU at all. It really was just like, I don't know, Strange has like 5 children, and they're all funky, they all love each other, they're really cool. They got some wacky scenarios. So yeah, I have a couple of ideas of certain things, a lot of ideas of how things work in this AU are they are non-existent. I've been very open for ideas and open for interpretation from others outside. Ideas are always great. I love bouncing ideas like these kind of things off of other people. It just helps get my brain moving. So that's kind of how some of this stuff has happened. Some stuff I've kind of thought about. But yeah, so I was gonna tell you guys like the tiny details that I do have, because I never planned on making details. But here we go. So let's list off a couple of things. So the order that Strange adopts all of the children is Loki and Sylvie are first, and they are like actually like, you know, like blood related and everything in this AU. No weird Loki variant stuff happening here. None of that. None of that. And also, I will forget to give the ages if I do not say them right now. So I'm gonna list them as I'm listing the order here. So Sylvie is 13 and Loki is 11. And then Wanda and Pietro come along, who are both 7. And lastly, Peter, who is 5. And these ages are their ages at the start of kind of how this, like, where the story would begin kind of thing. So like basically the idea of the beginning of the story is Strange and all of the kids move into a new house, into this new neighborhood, and all the wacky adventures kind of start from there. So look, some of the biggest details I really don't have at the moment is kind of like how all of the kids ended up for adoption and how Strange actually got a hold of the kids, because like we all know how Strange is. This man would not willingly want to just go out and adopt kids, right? Like I think we can all agree about that, right? So when it came to how he got Loki and Sylvie, I was trying to think about, okay, what is the situation that could happen where they kind of just appear into him and he's kind of like, okay, well, I think I'm gonna take you guys in kind of idea. So this is a very rough concept that I have for Loki and Sylvie. So basically they were in an orphanage that was really abusive, and they were very all specifically harsh with Loki, and Sylvie was like, we need to get out of here, I cannot keep seeing you get hurt like this. Like it's like it was a really bad situation. And at this time Sylvie was, maybe I could see them being like 6, and then Loki was maybe like 4, so they were pretty young. So this kind of cues Sylvie breaking the both of them out, and so they're kind of just out wandering on the streets, because like, I mean, they can't go back. And so now cue Strange maybe running into them and being like, huh, these are some kids just on the street, I'm gonna take them back home, make sure they're good, make sure nothing bad happens here. So when he brings them back home, he's about to like call up his orphanage, you know, be like, yeah, there are some kids here, and Sylvie is like, no, please don't, and kind of explains what had been going on. And Strange in this moment has like a really like soft heart moment of like, okay, I can't bring these kids back, I'm not doing that to them. So like that could kind of be a concept of how Strange, like, he unintentionally adopted 2 kids at first, because I really just don't think that he would just kind of go and adopt kids. So then this kind of leads into like, I don't exactly know how Strange got Wanda, Pietro, and Peter. Maybe they also ended up in the same orphanage, and he was kind of, and since like he kind of knows the story about how bad this place is, there could be like a whole story of like he's trying to like get it shut down, and then he actually gets Wanda, Pietro, and Peter from that orphanage because he's like he wants to like save kids from there, who knows. Or maybe they also just randomly showed up into Strange's life and he's like, okay, well, I guess I'm your dad now? Question mark? I don't know. And also other details that I'm not sure about, because I want Loki and Sylvie to be connected to like Odin and Thor and whatever, and I'm not sure how I want to do that. Like were they like with them before they were in the orphanage? Why were they put up for adoption? All that kind of stuff. I don't know. And also, like, you know, like, how did Wanda and Pietro end up in America? You know, like, why did Peter get put up for adoption instead of going with Uncle Ben and Aunt May? Like, those kind of details, I'm like, I'm not really sure, because I did not think that we were going to have lore in this AU. I don't make AUs very often, and so usually when I do, it's usually just like for funsies. I don't go full lore, so you can tell that this is a whole mess, but I promise it's a good time. Just don't think about the lore, and it's a good time. We don't need to worry about those aspects. Okay, so anyway, so we're going to go back to, like, you know, to the beginning of the story, right? Because I mentioned how they move into a new house, new neighborhood, and they are moving into a neighborhood, like, this is like the beginning of the kids' school year, so like they kind of move into this new house in the summer. so they get a little bit of time to adjust. And their neighbors just so happens to be Mr. Scott Lang, because he is in fact one of my favorite MCU characters, so of course I'm gonna add him into the AU and have him be a main character, because I said so. This is self-indulgent, and if you don't like it, you can leave. So Scott, we know Scott, he's a very nice man, so of course he's like very welcoming and nice to this new family that moved in. He's like very much like, you know, if you guys need any help, just let me know, I'm here. Yeah. And so he actually ends up being the kid's babysitter from that point on. And yeah, like, so like he kind of just becomes a part of the family. Maybe him and Strange get really close. Maybe they end up being an endgame relationship. I don't know. Rare pairs up in here. Yeah, baby. So as for the kids with school, Sylvie will be going into 8th grade, Loki's 6th, Juana and Pietro 2nd, and Peter would be starting kindergarten. So that's kind of where they are starting at the beginning of the story. And so with the topic of them going to school, this also brings in the concept of other MCU characters being kids as well. Ooh, fun times. So one of the one other character I've been working on as being a kid is Mobius. Because I love Mobius, so Mobius bias over here. But I also really would like to add in some of the other characters from the Loki show as well. So like I would like to add in Ravonna. I don't know if I'm saying that right. You guys can bully me if I say it wrong. And then also Casey and Hunter B15, which I swear I really wish we had her real name. I'm about to give her her own name because I love her so much. So when Loki starts this new school, of course Mobius is gonna like instantly be like, you're my friend, I'm taking you in. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, you know, of course we're gonna have some very cute, soft, what's the word I'm looking for? Slow burn. That slow burn Lokius happening over their years of school together, and it's great. I love it. I love them. Yes. Like, of course I was gonna have Lokius be in this AU somehow, because like I do very much enjoy the ship a large amount, so I had to. And some other characters I really also want to add in and make designs for. I want to of course make Ned and MJ, because I gotta. They're so iconic. Peter needs his pals. I also really want to add Harley Keener. If you followed me at a certain point on Instagram and Tumblr, this was like after when Endgame happened, but I drew Parkner a large amount. So Harley Keener has a really big soft spot in my heart. It's totally not where I got the name Harley from or anything. That's not important. Anyway, he's gonna be there. Of course Tony is gonna be his dad. Like, absolutely. And then I also really want to add in Vision, and I would like to add Monica and Darcy in as well, because I think that would be a lot of fun. And of course Thor and Hela are going to show up as well as kid characters, and I also think Valkyrie would be pretty fun to bring in, because her and Sylvie would totally be friends. And yeah, so that's kind of the ideas I have right now. I feel like it would be cool to have maybe some of the characters be like teachers and stuff at the school. I think that would be kind of fun too. So that's a whole other thing to possibly think about. I'll have to put that on my list also, because I think that would be really fun. Another little detail I thought would be important to add is all the kids do have powers in this AU. It's kind of just like a fun little thing. I just thought it would be fun for them to have powers, but like they have to keep it hidden from the public. I think this would just be some funny, wacky scenarios of these kids don't know how to control their powers in front of people. And I don't know, I just say that would be fun. Because like, it could have just been a modern AU with no powers, but it's like, nah, let's spice it up a little bit. Let's give them some powers and stuff. That's a good time. That's currently all of the information I can kind of give you guys at the moment. On my Tumblr, I've had people send in asks, but this kind of summarizes everything that's kind of been brought in, like other maybe small things. Loki and Sylvie are frost giants. You know, again, like this is they do all still have their magical powers and whatever. other things. Loki is gender fluid in this AU and is gonna be bi. Sylvie is trans. Really, really good times up in here. And yeah, and then I gotta work on all the other characters' identities, you know, as they're growing up and figuring themselves out and all that stuff, but that will be planned later in the future when I actually have thoughts in my head. But yeah, that's kind of all I can think of at the moment for information. Please feel free to ask any questions in the comments of this video or send me a DM on Instagram and Tumblr. And this is a little bit of a segue for the end, but the reason I am actually really making this video, well, half the reason is because I'm hosting an art contest, and I wanted to kind of have a place to have all of this general information in one spot. So if people are entering the contest and kind of want to know what's going on, they can watch this, get an idea of what the AU is on about, and any of the stuff I don't have. They can kind of all see it here. So if you are interested, if you're finding this through YouTube and are interested in this contest for some reason, or any of the content I've made for this AU, please check out my Instagram and Tumblr. All the information will be there. All of the art I've made for this AU will be there. It's a really good time. Again, you can ask me any questions on Tumblr. You can send me an ask, you know? Yeah. So yeah, that's that on that. That's my self-indulgent AU that I hold very dearly, and I really appreciate all of the support that people have been giving me on Instagram and Tumblr for it. It's actually kind of crazy how many people are actually really interested in this story. Not even really story, because I don't really have a set story right now, but you guys get the idea. I really appreciate it. I get really happy when people like my weird ideas, so I'm glad that we kind of have our own little corner over here in the Marvel fandom. Where we just got a nice little family going on with these characters, and they're having a good time. And yeah, anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope this was kind of helpful for anyone who wanted to know and have all of the information in one place. And yeah, bye!